All right, guys. So we're going to do just kind of a real quick recap and talking about sort of the rise and really quick fall of Rome. In elementary school, you hopefully learned a little bit about Rome and how it grew into a big superpower. In seventh grade, our focus is the fall of Rome and the legacy left behind. So that's what we're going to spend most of our time talking about here. So this guy right here is, let me move myself out of the way. This guy right here is Augustus. And he is, if you remember back to the Engineering and Empire, he is going to be one of the great emperors to rule the empire. He is going to start off this time period called Pax Romana. Let me get myself out of the way again. Okay, so Pax Romana, like I said, started with Augustus, and it was just this really, really great time for Rome. It was about 500 years. They had tons of money. They were super strong, and things were going really, really well. They were conquering all this new land. And when they conquered new land, they charged taxes to those people, and it brought more money into the empire. And they were investing in the city of Rome and in the empire. There was food for everybody. Things were just really, really good for the Roman Empire during this time period of Pax Romana. And so things were good. Things were on the rise. But there is going to be some problems that start to jump up. So our question here is, how big is too big? So this right here, if you can see, is the city of Rome is about right here. So this is where the Roman Empire started. And as they went, they expanded and expanded and expanded. We talked about Gaul, which is right here. This is Africa up in here, Egypt over here, parts of Israel over here, other parts of Asia. So they really got bigger and bigger and bigger, all surrounding the Mediterranean Sea, which is this body of water right here. So as they're growing and growing, it's causing them some problems that makes it hard to maintain their status as an empire. One of the things is it gets harder to protect the borders. So if you are protecting just a small place, you're going to need fewer people, right? Because they could protect the borders. It's easier to protect. But as the borders get bigger and bigger and bigger, you're going to need more people around the outside because the perimeter is increasing. You're going to need more people around the outside to be able to protect that land. The other thing is you're going to have a harder time getting from people from one place to the other faster. So the Romans did have roads. They did have ways to get there fast. But if you imagine how long it might take some army soldiers to get from like over here to a problem all the way over here, it's going to be a really long time. And so it's going to slow things down a little bit and make those borders, that outside, less strong and less able to keep out invaders. Also, as they're going up and going into Northern Europe, the climate is changing. This whole area is really great for growing food and having lots of farming. But as you get higher, it gets drier. And there are more forests, more trees, making it difficult. And it just makes it harder. It's colder the more northern you get. And so as they're expanding, these places aren't able to produce the food that they need to keep the empire strong. And also, if you think about the emperor kind of being here in the city of Rome, so right about here, those who are kind of controlling the areas or the provinces in different parts of the empire, they're getting further and further away from what it actually means to be Roman and from the city of Rome. And so they're going to start to become corrupt, and they're not going to be as loyal to Rome as an empire. And it's going to start to shake that really strong government that they had developed during Pax Romana. So I always think of, when I think of the Roman Empire, I always think of it as a balloon. And they blow up the balloon, it gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger until it's going to pop, until all these problems are going to come up and they're not going to be able to keep it strong anymore. It's going to go from the greatest empire to one that gets broken up into pieces. So you're about to go in and look at some of the different problems in the Roman Empire. As you go through, I want you to think about how are all of these things kind of picking away at the strength of that balloon? How are all of these problems that they're facing with invaders and money trouble and government problems, how are those weakening the balloon as it's getting bigger and bigger and bigger? There's one more thing I want to talk to you about, and that is the Germanic tribes, because you're going to learn about them. So if I jump back over here, the Germanic tribes are coming from like this area right here. And like what is today Germany, that part of Europe. And so as Rome is invading and kind of swallowing these groups whole, you're going to hear a lot about invaders coming in and invading and then not being loyal, talking a lot about the Germanic tribes, the tribes that are coming from like this area in Europe. Okay, there are video instructions for you on how to complete the Problems in Rome chart, but this is where I'm going to leave you for now. All right, bye guys.